Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Polyglot Grind again as always. Today, I'm not gonna lie, today's video might be a little bit boring, but a few people have asked me how I study, so I decided to make a study with me video. I actually got the idea to make this video from a YouTube channel called Polyglot Progress. They actually gave me a shout out a little while ago, and I'm really grateful for that because I got a lot of subscribers from that, and I actually really like their channel. Their channel is really cool. So I'm gonna put a link to their channel in my description because there might be a few of you that watch me but don't watch them, and I really recommend their channel because their stuff's really motivational, and I honestly really like their stuff, so I really do recommend their channel. So there'll be a link in the description. So to study, I'm going to be using two books today. So I have Living Language Russian. I don't know if it's going to show up on the camera. I really hope I'm aimed at it properly. But so Living Language Russian. I got this book at Chapters. It wasn't too expensive. It might be on Amazon. If I can find it, I'll put a link. So if you guys want to buy it, you guys can buy it too. I recommend it. I do like it so far. There's a bit more grammar than I would normally prefer, but it's not bad. I honestly like it. It's working pretty well. And the other book I'm using is Assimil Russian. This book I have not been able to find at just regular bookstores nearby, so I had to buy this one on Amazon. So this one I will post a link for in the description just in case you guys want to check it out. I got the audio for this book at the library, so I just ended up buying the book by itself because it was cheaper. But most of the time I do have to buy the whole kit, which can be expensive at times, but I honestly really do like Assimil. It's one of my favorite courses to use, so I recommend it to other people because a lot of people also ask me what courses I'd recommend, what books I use any websites, all that stuff. Assimil is one of my favorites, so I recommend this, and I will be posting a link to it in the description. So I'm probably going to end up muting the audio for the actual video itself. Like, you guys are going to see me studying. It's not going to be anything exciting whatsoever, but I'm going to be listening to the audio through my headphones because I'll probably end up getting some copyright strike or something if I were to actually play the audio out loud. And plus, these are noise cancelling headphones, so it's going to cancel out the rest of the noise and the talking in my house, which makes it easier for me to focus because, I don't know, I personally find it really hard to study in environments where there's a lot of talking in the background. I don't mind background noise, but I just can't study with talking because it distracts me from trying to take in the dialogues and the word lists and all that stuff. Anyway, so I'm also going to run you guys through what I'm doing with each book. So the way I use these two books is as follows, and I'm going to run you guys through this as if it were the first day of my Russian studies. So, on the very first day of studying Russian, I did not touch the Assimil book, but I used the Living Language Russian book, and I did the very first unit, and that was it. It was a short study session, and that was it. And then on the following day, I reviewed the first unit of the Living Language Russian book, and then I did the first 7 lessons of the Assimil Russian book. And you guys are going to see a lot of similarities between how I'm studying Russian and how I study Catalan, and I'll post a link to the Catalan video too. So the following day I did the second unit of this book, and then I reviewed the first 7 lessons of the Assimil book. And then the day after that I reviewed the second unit of this book, and then I added 7 more lessons of the Assimil Russian book. And in Assimil books, the 7th lesson is normally a review lesson that recaps the 7 lessons that you've covered, because Assimil is designed so that you do 1 lesson a day for a week, and then on the 7th day you do a review. But I find that too slow, and I like to just do 7 lessons a day because they're not even that long, so it doesn't take that much time and it's not that much information to take in, so I just prefer to do it that way. And then so I just keep repeating that process. So then I do a new lesson in this book, and then I review this book, and then I review this book but do a new lesson in this book, and I do a new lesson in this book but review this one, and then just so on and so on. I just keep, I'm always reviewing something, but I'm also always adding in new information. So one of the reasons that I do this is because I found that even though these two books are by different companies, a lot of the information kind of overlaps. So I might see something in this book and I might not get it, but then I see it in this book in a different way, like in a different context, and I go like, oh, okay, like now I understand it, and vice versa. I might see something in this book that doesn't make sense, and then I see it in the Living Language book, and then it does make sense. So that's why I like to use 2 different resources, and it also just makes it more fun and exciting, I guess, because using the same book every single day gets really boring for me. But yeah, so that's how I do it. That's how I'm going to be doing it. So yeah, alright, so now that I've explained everything, I'm going to get to the actual studying part. So I don't normally, like as you guys can all see, I have my phone with me right here. I don't normally have my phone when I'm studying a language unless I'm using my phone for the audio, because it can distract me at times, so I normally leave it far away, but I'm using my phone this time to control the GoPro to turn it on and off, so that's why I have it with me this time, just in case anybody's wondering. But alright, so this is the actual studying part now, starting now. So as I said, I'll be starting with Living Language Russian. So you guys probably can't see on the camera, this is probably not going to show up, but I'm going through a word list right now. So I normally go through each word list twice, just to make sure I get it. The first time is just kind of see the words once, and then the second time is to really make sure that I remember them, at least hopefully. And then I don't normally like word lists, but I go through the word list first, just to kind of get used to the words, and then I try and actually learn the words properly in context in the actual dialogues. So once again, I don't know if you guys can see, but I've now reached the first dialogue of Unit 1. So, if this had been the first time that I was going through this book, I'd probably listen to the dialogue as many times as it took in order to understand everything. But because I've already gone through this, I'm probably just going to listen to it twice. If I listen to a dialogue multiple times and I find that I'm still not getting it, I tend to just move on and then try and do it the following day when I'm doing the review, because I find that, like, it's not really fun. It's not fun when I've done the dialogue like 25 times and I'm still not getting it. So I just kind of sleep on it, relax, and then come back to it the next day. And if I still don't get it, then I'll just come back to it again, like when I review again later on. So I'm now on the dialogue, as I said. I'm now going to listen to the dialogue twice, and then I think that the following, there's 2 dialogues in each unit, at least so far. So I'm going to go through this first dialogue twice, and then the second dialogue twice, and then I think there's like a recap of everything at the very end, like the essentials that they hope that you've learned from the first unit, and then I should be done, and then I'll be moving on to Assimil. Okay, so I am 42 minutes in, and I just finished the first unit of a living language. So I am now going to move on to the Assimil book. I just have to find out where I left off, because I'm not sure which lesson I was on, like which lessons I have to do today, so I'm just going to check. So just like the audio, just like the dialogues in living language Russian, I try to go through each dialogue until I understand it, until I understand at least like the gist of what happened in the dialogue, and then I'll move on. So I could have to listen to the dialogue from one time to maybe, like I said, 10 times or something, and then I move on. But if I still don't get it, like I do with this book, I'll move on and I'll see if I understand it better the following day. But if not, I'll just leave it and I'll just move on and I'll come back to it in the future. Because, like I said, it stresses me out if I just keep listening to the same dialogue over and over and over and over and over and over again and I'm not getting it. So if I just don't get it, I'll just leave it and I'll come back to it later on. And then that's how I do it. So I'm going to get into the Assimil book now, as I said. I also have the audio for the Assimil book on my computer. I personally think that the audio is the most important part of any course. I do not buy a course if there is no audio, unless I'm very, very advanced in the language. Well, in that case, I would just buy an actual book, because like I consider myself to be relatively advanced in German. So instead of buying a German course book, although I do have German course books, I would, if I was going to use something without audio, I would just get a regular novel. Because the audio is very important, because you have to learn pronunciation and you have to learn to like, get your ears used to the language and everything. So the audio is the most important part, in my opinion. Anyway, so I'm going to turn the audio on my computer now and I'm going to get into the Assimil book. This part shouldn't take as long as the living language part did, because these lessons are a lot shorter. So this part I should be able to get through this part a lot faster. Okay, you guys, I was gonna try and show the whole study session, but I think my GoPro is probably overheating or something because it's, I don't know, there's like lines and stuff going through the screen and everything, so I feel like it's probably overheating. So I'm gonna continue to study. I'm gonna finish this session right now, but I'm gonna cut the rest of the video right now. So I was almost done the Assimil book. I think I had about 2 more lessons to go, or 3, and then I would have finished. But if you're still here and you're still watching, this is what a regular study session looks like. There's nothing special or anything. I don't know, like, it's not the most exciting thing to do. My favorite part of language learning is actually going out and talking to people, but like I have to do this in order to get that, if that makes sense. So I have to study in order to go and talk to people. I do find it's interesting. Like, I am having fun. As much as this probably doesn't look like fun if you're not a language learner, I am enjoying myself right now. And yeah, so anyway, if you're still watching this video, thank you for watching. As I said at the beginning, I'm going to post links to the books that I've used. Well, I think I can only post a link to the Russian book because I got the Living Language book in an actual store, but I ordered the Russian Assimil book on Amazon, so I'll post a link to that. And if anybody's interested, like, this is not a tech channel by any means, but if anybody's interested in these headphones, like, I like these headphones. They're pretty comfortable and they're noise canceling. Like, as I said earlier on in the video, I get distracted more by talking and stuff like that. Like, background noise doesn't really bother me, but if you're someone who's bothered by background noise, then maybe these headphones would be good for you. Yeah, like, I don't know, they don't filter out speech completely, but they do a little bit, so I like them personally. So I can post a link to those two just in case you guys are interested, because if you guys are travelers or whatever and you have to study in like a youth hostel or a library where there's people talking, then these can help, I guess. But anyways, thank you for watching this video. I'm going to finish studying now, and if you're able to make it through this video, if you're still here and you haven't started learning the language that you want to learn, then you have the patience to learn, because this was a long video. It was probably not exciting, but if you made it this far, then you need to stop making excuses and start learning the language that you want to learn right now, because you have the patience for it. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, and more videos to come soon.